Welcome to Sage Audio. Today let's talk about how to mix vocal delay. But first, if you have a mix that you need mastered, send it to us to receive a free mastered sample of it with the link in the description. Where to insert delay in a vocal chain. Delay should almost always be inserted near the end of your vocal chain, typically after corrective EQ, compression, de-essing, and saturation. Ideally, we want our vocal to be dynamically controlled and have a relatively balanced frequency response prior to being delayed or processed with time-based effects. Additionally, we don't want to feed delayed signal into our compressor, de-esser, and so on, since we want a clean signal to trigger these processors. So let's take a listen to delay being used at the beginning of the chain, then at the end of the chain to get a better understanding of how its routing affects the sound.
And now I'm ready to start, 'cause you make me fly. And now I'm ready to start, 'cause you make me fly.
Great vocal delay settings. Before we get into more complex delay setups, let's discuss a simple and quick way to get a great vocal sound. I'll insert a stereo delay on my vocal chain and use eighth note delay on one channel and dotted eighth note delay on the other. I'll isolate the delay to the low and high mids, use about 15% feedback, 3 to 5% crossover, and lower the output to help it blend in. Let's take a listen with slightly more aggressive mix settings to hear the effect, but keep in mind that a lower mix value might be better.
And now I'm ready to start, 'cause you make me fly. And now I'm ready to start, 'cause you make me fly.
If you're enjoying the video, hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. It's free and it helps us bring you more videos. Parallel, vocal delay, and EQ. When I'm using delay, I prefer to use a bus and insert the delay plugin on the auxiliary track. For convenience, I'll use the same plugin in the settings that I used in the last chapter, but this time, I'll turn the output up to 100% and use the auxiliary fader as my wet dry. Next, I'll insert an EQ after the delay and dip a little of 2 to 4 kHz. This is going to reduce the amount of delay on these frequencies, helping the vocals stick out and making the delay blend in. Now, as you can imagine, you can use this EQ to shape how you want the delay to sound. So let's take a listen to this setup and notice how it differs slightly from the last chapter.
And now I'm ready to start, 'cause you make me fly. And now I'm ready to start, 'cause you make me fly.
Getting details from vocal delay. Similar to last chapter in which we added EQ after delay to shape it, we can add compression after delay to pull details forward. Again, since this is a parallel track or send, this compression is only affecting the delay taps, not the original vocal. I'll use longer, smoother compression but with a quicker attack to capture the delay earlier on. Then I'll use automatic makeup gain to bring forward quieter details of the delay. So let's take a listen and notice how the delay's quieter aspects and overall amplitude is increased.
And now I'm ready to start, 'cause you make me fly. And now I'm ready to start, 'cause you make me fly.
Stacking multiple delay taps. When using multiple delay taps, odds are we don't want to send one delay into another since the second delay would be triggered by an already delayed signal. With that said, let's set up a second auxiliary track and insert our new delay here, this time with shorter settings. With the Waves H delay, I'll set it to a 64th note. Again, I'll keep the feedback low and isolate the reflections to the low and high mids. Let's take a listen to our original delay and this one combined using 2 separate auxiliary tracks.
And now I'm ready to start, 'cause you make me fly. And now I'm ready to start, 'cause you make me fly.
More musical, vocal delay, part 1. Earlier, we discussed adding EQ after the delay to shape the reflections. So let's do this again, but this time use the plugin Punctuate by Newfangled Audio to emphasize the transients of each delay tap. This is going to make the start of each tap more defined and easier to hear. Additionally, the transient expansion bands are set to the Mel scale, meaning they're easier for listeners to distinguish from one another. So let's take a listen and let me know in the comments if you think transient expansion after delay improved the sound.
And now I'm ready to start, 'cause you make me fly. And now I'm ready to start, 'cause you make me fly.
More musical, vocal delay, part 2. If we know the key of our song, we could emphasize the 7 in-key notes and attenuate the 5 out-of-key notes using an EQ. I'll do this to both of our auxiliary channels to augment the more in-key aspects of the delay. For this track, the key is E major, so I'll amplify C sharp, D sharp, E, F sharp, G, A, and B, and then I'll attenuate C, D, F, G, and A sharp. So let's take a listen to this EQ being added to our delay taps.
And now I'm ready to start, 'cause you make me fly. And now I'm ready to start, 'cause you make me fly.
If you're enjoying the channel, you can use the search box to watch more of our videos. Emphasizing delay harmonics. If you want to create a distinct sounding delay, you could introduce saturation after the delay on your send. Saturation is going to introduce harmonics that relate to the fundamental, which is going to make the delay sound more musical like the last 2 chapters, as well as fill out the sound. Let's take a listen to what our 2 delays sound like when moderately saturated.
And now I'm ready to start, 'cause you make me fly. And now I'm ready to start, 'cause you make me fly.
Stereo widening with sample delay. If we're mixing a BGV and we want to change its location, we could use very short delay on one channel to change its placement in the stereo field. Using a sample delay plugin on a stereo vocal, I'll delay one channel by a few milliseconds. Let's take a listen and notice how this creates an incredibly wide sound and how its effect could be used on vocal doubles and BGVs.
And now I'm ready to start, 'cause you make me fly. And now I'm ready to start, 'cause you make me fly.
Frequency-specific vocal delay. Although most delay plugins let us alter the delay frequency, if we want a lot of control over our delay, we could use the setup. First, let's create 3 buses and aux tracks on which we'll insert 3 linear phase EQs, each isolating a specific frequency range. Then we'll insert delays on each and alter the settings to whatever we want. For example, if we want short delay to thicken the lows, moderate on the mids, and super long delay on the highs, this is now an option. So let's take a listen and consider how this could be used creatively in a mix.
And now I'm ready to start, 'cause you make me fly. And now I'm ready to start, 'cause you make me fly.
Achieving lo-fi delay. Lo-fi delay is really easy to achieve and you don't need a specific emulation of a vintage delay to do it. On an aux send, let's first insert the delay, then an EQ, then a saturation plugin. With the EQ, I'll use high and low pass filters to narrow the frequency range. I might also create a resonance filter around 2 kHz. Then I'll saturate heavily using the saturation plugin. We could also try putting the EQ first or the saturation first and see how changing the order of the processors affects the overall sound. So let's take a listen to lo-fi delay.
And now I'm ready to start, 'cause you make me fly. And now I'm ready to start, 'cause you make me fly.
If you have a mix that you need mastered, send it to us to receive a free mastered sample of it with the link in the description. Thank you so much for watching.